Welcome reading 2. You chose engagement ring. And underneath there, I know the words are really tiny, but they want me to leave it there for right now. And I'm just going to read you some words on the card. But before I do, and maybe you could see them already because you have awesome, awesome eyes. I mean, all of our eyes are awesome, but you hear what I'm saying. Do me a favor. Will you close your eyes for me, please? Take in some deep breaths, okay? Feel the calm energy. Can you hear outside? Keep your eyes closed, and if you're driving, just clear your mind, turn off the radio, turn everything off, just get quiet. And while your eyes are closed or while you're focused on nothing, I'm going to say some words. And whatever pops up when I say these words, could be a word, it could be an image, could be a feeling, could be a scent, could be a song, doesn't matter, whatever it is. Those are your messages. Okay? They're asking me to go backwards. The first word, union. Completion. Eternity. Commitment. Partnership. Engagement. Anything come through for you? Let's see if Spirit wants us to pull any extra cards to go with this today. Not right now. Okay. So let's get in there. What messages do we have, Spirit? What messages do we have for this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful tribe? These soul warriors. What does engagement mean to you? Take the ring aside. The ring doesn't exist, right? Let's just say the ring's not there. There's no ring. Or maybe there's a ring, but there's no diamond there, right? You see the ring. Ooh, you know what I just heard? Ring of Fire. Ring of Fire by Johnny Cash. If you don't know that song, look it up. I don't know if he wrote it or if he it's one of those songs that, like, every time I hear Ring of Fire, I only think of Johnny Cash. So but you know, sometimes I find out like all different people wrote things. Willie Nelson actually wrote a lot of songs for a lot of artists, even Billy Joel, and there's a lot. Anyway, so Ring of Fire, what does that mean? What does that mean? Also, did you notice how my brain kind of like traveled off? And I know I can do that sometimes, but I feel like that's where some of you are. Like, instead of like facing it because you don't want to be in the ring of fire to deal with something, it's like you're like, oh, that's okay. I'll just deal with this, or I'll just do that, or I'll, you know, blah blah blah. Everything's gonna be fine. Everything. And Spirit's like, how's that working for you though? Like the acting like everything's gonna be fine. They're like, how's that working for you? How's that working for you? It's not working, right? See, the little bling is far away from the diamond because it's just an image. You know, if you just see a diamond from far away, you're like, oh, cool, it looks like a piece of glass. But if you put it under glass, right, especially one that's like been cut so beautifully and is so clear, you see all the rainbows and the shimmers and like the magic of the diamond. It's not about getting the biggest and the best, you know, diamond. It's about the, you know, what about the inclusions in the diamond, right? And up above, I'm noticing that the sun is dancing outside. And I feel like that's you guys. It's almost like you're dancing in the dark, like you're dancing in the distance. As long as you like stay in this, oh, I got the chills all over my body. As long as you stay in like this one area, you're good to go. Like you're fine, you got it, you're good. But if you engage too much, in the partnership, in the union, in the commitment with, and this doesn't necessarily have to be a love relationship. That's why I feel like this, I understand why they have the imagery of the engagement ring, and this is their deck and they can do as they please. But I find it interesting because there's all of the words underneath the ring don't have to do with anything to do with love, really. I mean, yes, we all love each other, right? Like we all like come from love, we are love, blah, blah, blah. But what I'm saying is that, you know, we engage with people every day. We have partnerships of all different kinds. We have commitments on all different levels. Eternity, I mean, there in the human form, there's no such thing. These meat suits will absolutely expire, and they will disintegrate one way or the other. They will burn in effigy, or they will, be put into the ground and used, to feed the earth. Our souls are the only things that are eternal. This lifetime in these avatars are precious, and we don't have much time. Even if you have 100 years, in the grand scheme of things, it's a blink of an eye. And every moment is precious. And they say, or at least I've noticed, that all of those people that live to be like quote unquote old, it's because they don't have stress. They're happy. They're like, they don't let things bother them. They don't, they're just like going with the flow of life every day and enjoying the simple things. I was thinking the other day how much I miss doing puzzles, and I'm like, I can't wait until, or no, I don't want to say I can't wait. I'm excited and looking forward to having a puzzle table in my house because I love to do puzzles. And even if that engagement or partnership is with myself, that's the eternal union and love that I have for myself. And completion, it could be for some of you. I will say this. The only thing in there that I will say is that word completion absolutely, to me, and this reading at this time feels like an ending. And I do feel like for some of you, it's going to be with one or more people. There needs to be some type of ending. And I feel like for some of you, it's almost like this old life or this old world that you're living in. It's just not existing in the new earth, right? And if you don't know anything about the new earth, if you're new here, welcome. And those of you who keep coming back, welcome back. Research New Earth in 2023, okay? It happened in March, and it's just something that's been coming up for a long time. And I feel really blessed to have been a part of it, to basically hold hands with spirit and hold space and connection with all of you, and when I see a circle, it's like, that's the eternity. That's never ending, right? But the diamond is, if you notice, I mean, look at how the prong, right? Whenever I use this camera, it's phase, it doesn't like to zoom in, but you get the idea. You see how the prong, sometimes it'll adjust itself. Hold on. But do you see how the prong is holding the stone? But the stone is high up above it. All you have to do is hit the wrong thing or get snagged on something. If that diamond is not in there perfectly, it's gone. It's gone. I've had that happened to my mom. My mom was devastated. She came home one day, and or she came home from work, or she was driving home from work, and all of a sudden she was like, and she was like, oh my God, her diamond was gone out of her ring. And she was just like, I don't know what happened. And she was like heartbroken. She was so heartbroken. And, because my stepdad, he put a lot into that, and she just loved it and everything. So he ended up getting her an Arkansas diamond, which was actually really cute and a little more non-traditional but beautiful, because they were building their retirement home. They were each other's second husband and wife, and so they were building their retirement home in Arkansas. And Arkansas diamonds aren't as expensive, as a, quote unquote, all different types. There's different diamonds from everywhere. But the Arkansas diamonds, they're just not the same quality. Some of them are, you might find, but they call them Arkansas diamonds. You can research it anyway, blah, blah, blah. But he put it in there, and it's basically like, it's like a natural cubic zirconian. It's almost like crystal quartz or something like that. I could be totally wrong. Please correct me if I am. But you see what I'm saying? And it's like, it wasn't about the diamond or the ring. It was about their relationship. So when you know what I mean? It's like, it's about the true relationship, not the fake bling. Because a lot of times people want to get married because they want the wedding, they want the, they want the ring, the proposal, they want the parties, they want the wedding, they want the outfits, and they want all these things. But then when it gets down to the nitty gritty of the actual relationship and you have to be in there every single day, marriage is no joke. And I can tell you from personal experience, and that's why my first marriage failed, because it started off on the wrong foot and it ended because it never really took off the way it was supposed to. Also, 1031, angel number, but it's also the number 5, if that means anything to you guys. Change and transformation. Change and transformation's afoot. And if you were drawn to reading 1, you may want to go check that out, because we spoke about the change and transformation in there as well. But yeah, at the end of the day, if you really love somebody, who cares? Like, if a piece of paper tells you that you're married, or that, a piece of jewelry or whatever, it's about the daily behaviors. What are you bringing to each other's life every day? And this is, yes, of course, now I'm going into love relationships, but this is just any relationship at all. Like, what relationship, like, what are you getting from your relationship every day? And that's whether it's family, friends, work. Are you enjoying it? Do you dread it? If there's any type of dread, those relationships must cease and desist, at least until you're strong enough to handle it. And I had a huge breakthrough this morning. If you're interested, 11:31, and then I went to 11:32 and 11:33. So I don't know if that means anything to you guys, but interestingly enough, 11:22 angel number was in reading 1. So if you've been seeing like 11:22, 11:33, 11:44, 11:55, especially if you're seeing it all in one day, that it's definitely the angels trying to talk to you. Look up those numbers. It's not a mistake. Okay. And for those of you who are interested in things that are going on with me, I had a massive breakthrough this morning. I will be talking about it in the waning Gibeus reading for the tribe, for the collective, for our family, our soul family. So stay tuned for that. And yeah. So any other messages, Spirit? Do we have any more messages? But yeah, it's time. I just feel like, oh, when I look down, it's 12:13, which is my birthday, and that came in the other one. So I feel like this is like for me too. But honestly, all of these readings, I feel like they hold some type of gems for all of us. But some people may just come here specifically for a pick a reading, and they only need that message that day. And for some of us, we watch all of them just because it's just, we know we're going to get some type of teaching or downloading from Spirit. Also, I've been getting a lot of Jesus stuff. Spirit had me, one of the last shorts that I did was with a Kanye West song. I don't even know Kanye West music. I don't listen to him. I gave him a shout out and a thank you, of course, but like I do to all the artists when I use their material. But I mean, it was really wild. And that particular part of the song, the way Spirit wanted me to use it, but it was really intense, because it's like, it's a call to warriors. It's Jesus is like, no joke, man. Like, I came here, he's like, I was one prophet, but I wasn't just one, was I? Like, he like opened the door for all of these other people. And now we're here to let people know, like, the Bible was written with fear. It was written with control. All of these biblical texts, these quote unquote religious texts, they were literally built to control and fear and put fear into us. And I feel like Jesus is now like opening up and saying, like, that is not, don't use me as your word of God, or, like the imagery of the cross. I mean, I've gotten that so much from Jesus. Like, it's not his favorite thing, right? Like, because man made that an imagery of him. And, one time he showed me in meditation, he's like, if you were like murdered, if somebody like, was trying to kill you, and like you died in a car accident, a horrible car accident, he's like, would someone like take a picture of the car accident and wear it around their neck? He's like, that's ridiculous. He's like, I was murdered there. Like, I was murdered there. I was tortured and murdered. And it just, I was like, that's always, I said to him, I go, that's why I've always had a weird aversion to crosses. Like, I thought I was a vampire. I swear. I know you guys will laugh at this, because I didn't know what I was. And I just knew that I was different, and I had like whatever. And so I was like, no, but I really love garlic. So like all these like little things. But honestly, like, I, for the longest time, thought there was something like really off about me. Like when I'd be in church with my family and there was crosses everywhere. And then I never was baptized. I was the only one in my family that wasn't baptized, because my parents got divorced, and my mom was like convinced I was like, now they're all like, really religious, and not all of them, but definitely if they're not religious, they still think I'm a weirdo, so either way. But it's like now that I have this relationship with Jesus, it just feels so different. And this is the same relationship I had with him when I was a child, where I just was like, I don't understand this stuff. Like, I would listen to these things in church and I'm like, really? But in like last time I was here, you said, this or that. And I was like, it always felt so contradictory. It felt like women were horrible. We were breeders and whores. That's it. And like we had no brain, or like we couldn't think for ourselves. And then like the women that were revered in biblical texts, and what I was raised in, Southern Baptist Christian, it was like if it wasn't in the Bible, it didn't exist, kind of thing. And it was just really rough. So if you went through something like that too, maybe you had something, like a promise ring with Jesus, and then you went the total opposite way and you became like a Satan worshiper, and you're like, but you know what? Lucifer was created for a reason too. You know what I mean? Like he was there we all have a purpose. Everybody, every single one of us has a purpose. And now it's time for you to find your divine gift. And so if your partnership, my eyes went directly to partnership. If your partnership, any partnership of any kind, is holding you back from your peace and your purpose, when I looked down, it was exactly 16 minutes. So I don't know if the number 16 means anything. It's also the number 7 if you add it together. And it could be 61. So it could be, a mirror of 16. It could be like your parent is 61, or somebody in your partnership is 61, or they're giving you a hard time, or it could be your boss. But whatever it is, it's like, I also feel like for some of you, there's a lot of guilt involved, a lot of Christian guilt, as I call it. But it could be whatever you grew up with. You could be Jewish, whatever, it's just, I just feel like there's just this confinement, this constraint. And interesting, like I don't use this mode on my phone very often, the square box, because I can't play with it very much. It's really annoying. I can't zoom in and stuff. But today I felt like it was like this for reading 1 as well. I feel like it's because we feel like we're in boxes. 1655, some of us feel like we're in boxes and we're trying to find a way to break free from the box. And I feel like your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to, whatever pinged for you when you had your eyes closed, when you were thinking about it. Maybe your eyes are still closed. I don't know. They didn't say like open your eyes. They just had me go. But whatever words, engagement, partnership, commitment, eternity, completion, and union. What words stuck out to you? Was it all about one person? Was it over many things? Because whatever it is, even if you had a different person or a different situation for each word, that's for shit for you to unpack. These are messages from spirit that you need to hear right now. That's why I said they're kind of vague and kind of generic. It's not very on point, because it's just for you to go through your own experience of it, right? There's many people who watch these readings, and so I don't want to misguide you. You are your own healer. I am literally just the muse, the medium, the picker upper of breadcrumbs that are left for you. I'm just here to translate from your higher self and your guides what you need. I do feel like there is one card coming for you guys. So let's see. Spirit, is there another card in this group that would maybe help in any way? I feel like there's one. Okay, makes a lot of sense. And can I just say, this card did not want to be seen. This card did not want to be seen. So I'm going to put it back here. Addiction. Oh, I understand. Actually, you know what? See how I was going to actually move it and they said no, because see how this beautiful soul, she's tethered to this heart. It's not broken though, but she's tethered to this heart. See how it's like tethered to her ankle? And this is just a vision of divine feminine. It's whatever this is for you, whatever you align with. This is just a vision of the divine feminine to help you understand what's happening. And it says codependent, obsession, possession, controlling, has a block, and restraint. So for some of you, if it is a partnership, I feel like the reason why it's never going to be what you want it to be is because I feel like this is you looking at what you want with them, commitment, eternity, partnership, like you're ready for it. You're like, I'm ready for the ring. I want the bling bling, right? Wait, this one's got a little bling on it. I want the bling bling, right? Thank you, Marcusite. Right. I want the bling bling, but Spirit's like, but why? Why would you want the bling when they're not ready? And so it's like you're the one that's chained and tethered to your own heart, because you're obsessing on this. Like, I almost feel like for some of you too, and this is beyond just a love relationship, because I feel like I just saw like work. I saw like an office. So, and again, it could be anything, could be a restaurant, wherever you work, but I just saw like they were giving me that this is a work thing as well. So love, work, family, whatever resonates, whatever came through for you, right? It's your story. But, I'm getting this, that, it's like they give you one little thing. That's probably why they were saying for you to go and check out reading one, because the gaslighting can sometimes be ourselves. Like, we gaslight ourselves, right? Like we're looking at them with this light. See how they had me change the angle of the camera? See the light up here? It's like you keep like hoping, you're looking to the light, you're doing the practices, you're in the relationship, you're like, I'm doing the work, I'm blah blah blah. They're like, yes, but if the other person isn't doing it, then it's all for naught, right? Because that's not real. It's an illusion, and you're obsessing about it, and you're having this possession, especially if it's something like you can't think about somebody else doing your job. You're like, I'm the best at my job, and it's like, yeah, but you really want to like go make straw people and on the side of the road in a truck, and spread sunshine to the world and live like a hippie. Why not? I'm a fucking hippie. I love it. It's, they're words. They're just words. you know Maybe you're tired of being bound to something, and it could be too that you love your job, or you love the people you work with, or you love whatever, and you keep looking for this brass ring, or you keep looking for something to change, or you're hoping that something's going to change, and they're like, yeah, but it's done, it's in the completion stage. Some things, people, situations, jobs, cars, homes, whatever, insert your story, stay with us for a short time, and some stay for a lifetime. It's just different. If I had stayed with my first husband, I would have never met my husband now, and I would have never become who I am today if it weren't for my husband now. So it's okay to change, and you could be, I feel Libra energy, so I don't know who that's for, and Gemini energy. So it could just be like the balance, just of the Libra is the scales. Ooh, when I looked down, it was 2211, which is 1122 backwards. Yes, for some of you that were drawn to one, you need to go watch one. That's so awesome. But yeah, obsessing about things you can't change, it's only going to make you miserable. And the controlling part, right? Are you somebody who tries to make everything perfect for your partner, because you don't want them to get upset, or you don't, so you're like, oh, if I make this perfect, if I do that perfect, if I make this, blah, 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 then this will happen. If I do this, this will happen. Or for some of you, I feel like you're going back to something, to what it was. And they're like, it's never going to be what it was. And if it's not anything now, it's not going to be anything now either. And I feel like you're just going to be stuck in this, endless loop. That's what it feels like. I almost feel like this all wants to change. But I feel like you're, yeah. And for some of you, I think even this is bothering you, because you don't like all the change. You want it to stay the same. And they're saying, nope, because this is the new earth. And, honestly, all you have to do is look out your window day after day after day. Even if you live somewhere where the climate never changes, shit still dies and comes back to life. Leaves die, they fall off the trees, right? And they come back until the tree is done. And then the tree will sprout no more. And the further you get away from this mentality of it happening, the sooner you can start looking. Let me see. I feel like there's another card. I feel like there's another one. I feel like there's a happy... Like, is there a light one, Spirit? Oh, do we want this? Okay, hold on. Okay, maybe not. This one? Nope. They're just saying you don't need the visual. You get it. Take this out of the picture. Take the addiction out of the picture. What do you see now? It's a blank page. And it's for you to start. Whatever it is you want to start. But whatever it is, it's now. And whenever you watch this, they're timeless, of course. But I'll tell you right now, astrologically, for the next year until next May, of course, we're going to have dips and whatever, and things happen. And Mercury will go retrograde, and the planets, will do their thing, and the moons will go super. Well, we've got some super moons. Next 4 moons are super moons, right? Um, and then we will have eclipse season, and the year will keep going over and over and over and over, right? The years in the astrology. But over this time, while Jupiter is in Taurus, it is really a time for luck and good fortune and new beginnings and doing the things we love. Even if you take a sabbatical from these people, from these situations for like a year of your life, just give yourself a year to do something different and see what happens. This looks like an eye to me, so I don't know if some of you are scrying, but I feel like it's just time for you to do something completely different. The wind chime is beckoning you. The winds are beckoning you. The winds of change are upon you. But only you can actually make the changes. Nobody can do it for you. And if you keep doing the same thing, you're going to keep getting what you always got, right? If you give what you always gave, you'll get what you always got. And it's time for you to do something special. And I'm excited to see what you do. We need you. Whatever you do is so special and it's so important. And if you were drawn to reading one, there was some good cheerleader medicine in there from Spirit. Also, we did channel some entities. So let's see, Spirit. Do we have any more messages? We are now opening up the floor to reading twos, people. Any messages from their higher self or any loved ones that have crossed over? I am lovingly holding space for you now. Tiffany. Oh, and I just heard Tiffany Haddish. And so I'm hearing laughter. So I don't know if Tiffany Haddish makes you laugh, or if you don't know who Tiffany Haddish is, please, please research Tiffany. And actually, if you really want to have a good laugh, one of my favorite skits she's ever done is with Peter Dinklage. Look for it on YouTube. And it was from Saturday Night Live when Peter Dinklage, and when they were both on there, she was the cast and he was the guest host. And they were on that show Naked and Afraid. Seriously, you will, if honestly, I don't know how people can't laugh. Like I was like dying laughing. I just like could not handle it. Also, it could be that maybe there's somebody in your life that looks like or resembles Tiffany Haddish, or it could be a family member that's passed over. Because also they're giving me a very strong visual of Tiffany Haddish. So if that means anything to you, maybe you're just meant to go look at them and be like, oh my gosh, she reminds me of my Grandma Joe, or whatever. So whatever that is. I heard something with a Q and then I heard queer, but like in a beautiful way, like it's Pride Month. And I feel like, I'm feeling like for some of you, if you had a grandpa, now this is going to be very specific, but it's coming through. So I'm going to let it come through. And I feel like his name is Ted or something in that, Theodore or Teddy or something in that. I also just saw Leonardo DiCaprio, so I don't know what that means. Maybe he looked like him. But I'm getting the vibe that one of your grandfathers was gay. And either it was like like the family talked about it, always like kind of wondered, but like maybe he stayed with his wife the whole time. Because I do feel like it was a hush hush secret, but I'm feeling like for you, whoever this person is, either you are gay or your child is gay or something, and they're saying like, thank you for coming out, or thank you for being who you are. Like you're breaking the ancestral lineage of the hush hush. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. They love you. I'm seeing Cary Grant right now. I'm seeing a lot of, there were a lot of leading men that they, back in the day, quote unquote, in the movie, in the, silver screen, as they called it at the time, that were gay, but they wouldn't dare. I mean, it was like the movies were so, like the men were so macho, the women were, I love old movies, but sometimes I go back and watch them, the old black and white movies, and I just like cringe from how disgusting like the languaging is and like the treatment of everybody really. But like, I was watching this one movie and it was like really cool and I was really into it. I was like, man, I'm like, I don't know, I don't watch old movies anymore. And this woman said something like out of turn and her husband turned around and smacked her across the face. And I was like, I'm like, what just happened? I was like, what? I'm like, no wonder why my dad beat my mom, right? Like, it was like these kind of things that were like taught that it was okay to be a certain thing. So I don't know if any of this is resonating with you. It could be that you came from an abusive household. I don't know where that's coming from. But yeah, he's just really proud of you. And he said, keep going, and thank you. He said, I don't think you realize like what you've done, like you've broken. And if you haven't come out yet, then I would say for those of you who have been thinking about it, this is your message from Grandpa Ted, or who this grandfather, whose ever grandfather this is. This is a message saying, you know, be bold, be brave, please break the lineage in your family. You have so much support. Oh my gosh. That's the thing, is that, you know why they can't put people back in the closet, so to speak? Because there's so many. And it's like they wouldn't have been created, and there's no way that anyone can say that God, creator, goddess, whatever, you know, whatever you believe in, you know, only created, you know what I mean? Like that, it's like, that's ridiculous. Of course, if you were born this way, that it's like we can transform. That's the fun thing about Earth. We can be anything we want. Our avatars, that you can change them. You can leave them natural, or you can change them into whatever you want them to be, you know? From the inside out and the outside in. This is your life, and you can make it any way you want. You can change the way you look. You can change your hair. You can, you know, and if that's the case, start small. Start small. You know, can I be honest with you? One of the saddest things that I ever had to witness in my own life, 30/29, and then I just saw 30/32, was my first husband. It was that moment where I realized he wasn't really in love with me. Like, he loved me, and we had a great marriage in a lot of ways. We shocked a lot of people, but we had a very like nice marriage. You know what I mean? Like, we kept things nice. We kept things cool, you know, but every 6 weeks or so, like, I would kind of get upset, and we'd have the same kind of fights, and it went on for years until we were like, okay, we're not right for each other. But we were best friends, and we loved each other, and we stayed friends for a decade afterwards, until he got remarried, and she wouldn't let me be friends with him anymore, and that is her prerogative. So long story short, I had really long hair, and I felt really good and really sexy about myself and about the way I looked, and I wanted to change. I just wanted something. I didn't know why or what, but I just craved change more than I'd ever craved it in my life. I ended up buying this convertible, and this story's been coming up a lot lately. And I bought this convertible, and every time I had the top down, my hair would get in my face. It would drive me crazy. Even if I had it in a bun, tied back, whatever, it just, like, the little tendrils, it just drove me nuts. It would stick to my lip gloss or my lip balm, or, you know what I mean? It just drove me crazy. I didn't know at the time that I was an empath. So I cut my hair all the way to 2 inches from my head. But the initial time I cut it, my hairdresser was like, your hair is so long. It was so, like, almost down to my butt. And I wanted to cut it to really short like that. And he said, let me cut it like a bob to your chin and let you live with that for a minute. He's like, the outgrowth when you go that short is so horrible. He was like, you have no patience. I know you. He's like, I'm just saying. And I was like, oh. So I let him talk me into getting the short bob. Got the short bob. It was worse than the long hair. I couldn't keep it back either. It was worse. So the first time, though, to be funny, my friend came with me, and when he cut the big cut, I held it in a ponytail, and he put it in a bag. So he kept it for me just to kind of think about it and whatever, blah, blah, blah. But when my friend and I got back to my house, I said, do something funny. I want you to go to the door and knock on the door and hand him the bag of hair and see what he does. And I was around the corner. And so she's like, okay, this is so weird, but I'm going to do it. She's like, you're funny. So we did it. And when all I heard was 3302, by the way, which is also the number 8, infinity. Interesting, because we were talking about circles and, like, you know, all that. Right? Eternity. Ooh, 3312. I just, like, there was, like, silence. He just, like, he said, where is she? And she handed him the hair, and he goes, hey. And she was like, hello. And he's like, I thought you were, you know, together, blah, blah, blah. And she goes, yeah, she wanted me to give you this first. And she hands it to him. And now I can't see them around the corner, but I can hear them. He didn't say anything. He didn't say anything. It was like, and now knowing that I've always been this way, I felt in my gut that he was like, oh my God, what did she do? And I came around the corner, and he was like, oh, thank God. He's like, I thought you cut it all off completely because you said you were going to cut it really short. And that right there made me want to cut it even more, because I was like, you know what? It's just fucking hair. And if I want to cut it short, I shouldn't have to feel. But he liked me being like the hot little Barbie. He was a musician. He was doing really well at the time. You know what I mean? Like people, like, you know, I was in my hotsy totsy days and looking hot and sexy when I would go to his shows and wearing short shorts and, you know, high heels and my long blonde hair like a rock star, you know, girlfriend, wife that, you know, he wanted, right? And then I went and I cut it short. And I swear to God, our relationship changed after that. And he even said at one point, I don't know, it's like you're a boy. I feel, he was like, I turned over the other night and it's like, I felt like I was laying down with a boy. And I was like, oh my God. And I was like, you don't fucking love me, dude. I'm like, you love the image of me. You love that I'm cool as shit and everybody loves me. You love that, you know, I'm beautiful on the outside, you know. But like, to him, that wasn't beautiful. But I loved it because it was a way of like, you know, showing me who I was to myself. So I feel like this message, you know, I didn't go this long with reading 1, and I don't know if I will with reading 3, but somebody needed to hear this. If you're trying to change who you are for anybody, don't do it. And if you want to do a drastic change like that and you're whatever, I'll tell you what, it made me realize like how much, I mean, so many people, it was like basically, in a nutshell, people told me I wasn't pretty anymore because of my hair. So I was like, so I guess my face isn't pretty. I was like, thank you. You're more than your hair or whatever it is that you're attached to. You're more than this person. You're more than this job. You're more, you know what I mean? It's all attachment. Those are your messages, you guys. I don't think we have any more. Any more messages want to come through, Spirit? Nope, that's it. Thanks, you guys. I hope you love this message. I hope it helped you in any way. All of my information is in the About section. And just to let you know, I am going to, like I said, I have something coming down the pipeline. I didn't say this with reading 1, but I'm just saying it here. There's something major coming down the pipeline, and I'm going to be announcing it in the Waning Gibeus reading. So stay tuned for that. Until next time, take good care of yourselves and each other. We love you so much. Blessed be. Oh.